Y'all, just wait. Buckle up. And what a testimony of fellowship. I've been praying for, you know how I say a lot that what's going on, the whole struggle and the conflicts between Israel and Palestine, or basically the Jews and the Muslims, been going on for so long, and it's Isaac and Ishmael still fighting? I've been praying for wisdom and for a verse to prove it, and it was revealed with fellowshipping with our brother, Light of Ascension. Okay, let's start here. The word matrix, escape the matrix, they talk about. Escape the matrix. Escaping the matrix is bringing you far into their matrix. The devil is a copycat. What is the matrix? The matrix is the womb. The word matrix appears 5 times in the Bible, all in the Old Testament. It is translated from the Hebrew word rechem, which means womb. Okay, so we know the womb is the matrix. We are knitted in the matrix, in the womb. The devil steals everything. Escape the matrix. Why? Escape the womb? Okay, let's get into Jacob and Esau, who are twins. There's a lot to hear. There's a lot to this. So just stick with me and just be prepared. This was like, my cup is running over right now. I'm so filled with the Holy Spirit. And every day it's revelation after revelation. It's apocalypse after apocalypse. The lifting of the veil on the bride. We are New Jerusalem. The veil's being lifted on everyone. So check this out, right? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Abraham, Ishmael, Esau. So Jacob and Esau are twin brothers. They fought in the matrix. They fought in the womb. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord, right? So look at this. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb. To Rebekah, 2 nations are in thy womb. Now, the whole story of Rebekah, it gets so much deeper. Oh, quick recap if you don't know. The Abrahamic religions, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, all come from Abraham. Abraham was called out of a land called Ur, and was promised a land and a father of many, an inheritance of this promised land. They are still fighting. These 2 brothers and 2 twin brothers are still fighting over that inheritance, because God, in Christianity and Judaism, we believe that God established his covenant with Isaac because the covenant was established between Abraham and Sarai. Abram and Sarai, Abraham, Sarah. But what happens in Christianity and Judaism, the truth goes that Abraham and Sarah were getting old in their age, and Sarah said, oh, I got a brilliant idea. Let me take God, I'm going to paraphrase, but this is what she did. She said, let's take God's hands into our own, let's take God's plans into our own hands. I'm speaking like crazy because this is just so amazing. Let's take God's plans into our own hands, and why don't you go sleep with the bondwoman, Hagar? Now, the Muslims have it a little different. But the idea is, so God says, I will establish my covenant with Isaac. Isaac, like the one who Isaac was taken up to the altar to be slain. But God, Jehovah Jireh, provides a better sacrifice, the lamb. That was on Mount Moriah, which is Calvary, Golgotha, the cross. Same place Jesus carried his cross up to. The same mountain that Isaac carried his own wood up to the altar. Trees. Abraham and Sarah are promised a covenant child with God. And since it took too long, they took God's plan into their own hands and said, go sleep with this slave woman, and thus Ishmael. Ishmael's the firstborn. To the firstborn is all the inheritance. You see where we're getting with this? The inheritance belongs to the firstborn. Ishmael, one of the 2 nations, And this plays into Jacob and Esau as well. We'll get there. But it wasn't the covenant child with Abraham and Sarai. It was with Abram and Hagar, the bondwoman. Then, years later, Abram and Sarai have the covenant child, Isaac. And long story short, ultimately, Isaac and Ishmael were kind of arguing. They were throwing rocks and kind of making fun of each other. And then Abram and Sarai told Ishmael and Hagar, kick rocks, get out of here. Even though they were half brothers, right? So imagine that being Islam and Isaac being the Jews. Okay. Does that make sense? You have Abraham, Isaac. Well, you have Abraham, Ishmael, the firstborn, but of the bondwoman, and you have Abraham and Isaac of the free woman. Ishmael being the firstborn. Now, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Jacob has a twin brother, Esau. Jacob means the supplanter. There's so much more to this. I'm going to have to do a long YouTube study. Before they were even born, the Jews and the Muslims have been struggling in the matrix, in the womb. And she said struggled, and they struggled within here. And this is like the devil's a copycat. Look how John the Baptist leapt in the matrix, in the mother's womb, when the true Messiah came, right? But it wasn't a struggle. It was a jumping for joy. Jacob and Esau, there was a struggle. And the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy matrix, in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Who was supposed to come out first? And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, two nations, Jacob and Esau. Esau went to his uncle Ishmael. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare him. So Isaac was 60. There's something deep there. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. If you read the Apocrypha, supposedly Esau is the one who cut off the head of Nimrod, and that plays into the garments from the Garden of Eden. There's so much more to this. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob sawed pottage, and Esau came from the field and was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with the same pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom, the Edomites. And Jacob said, sell me this day my birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am the point to die, and sold his birthright over a bowl of soup. I'm telling y'all, there's so much more to this. But ask and you shall receive. Since the womb, since the matrix, it has been a fight of these two half-brothers and their offspring, which are twins, Isaac and Ishmael. Isaac has Jacob, which means a supplanter, and then his 12 sons become the 12 tribes of Israel. And Esau, there's a verse, I'll make a part 2, where Esau went with his uncle Ishmael. Then went Esau unto Ishmael. Now it's important to understand all the context of this, and to understand where it gets even deeper is when Isaac was old and couldn't see the promised inheritance. What did Jacob do? What did Jacob do? The inheritance was already basically sold over a measly bowl of soup. But what happened? Did Jacob not, put hair in his arm and act like pretended that he was Esau, Jacob the supplanter? The two brothers are fighting to this day. That is what's going on with the Muslims and the Jews conflict since the womb, since the matrix. Come out of the matrix, they want to bring you into their matrix.